What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, OTB Nation? Welcome into another episode of the award-nominated, honorably mentioned, number 9 NCAA ranked, and of course viewable on YouTube, Outside the Box podcast. It's episode number 329 of the official Lacrosse podcast on the Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast network. It's KB and Deej coming at you fresh off a PLL bye week. We got a lot of fun stuff to dive into. We'll recap our bye weeks, and we'll get into Indigenous Heritage Weekend, Minnesota weekend on deck, and preview the games. Got a lot of fun stuff to just chit chat about. But before we get into all of that, make sure you guys are following us on the socials across the board at OTB LaxPod. That's on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads. Follow Deej on Twitter at SCS_NextGreat. You can follow me at KBIZZL311. Subscribe to the podcast feed, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave a 5-star rating and review. Goes a long way for helping the show continue to grow. Helps more people find the show. We've gotten a few new subscribers since OTB Live in Philly, which is now available on audio and on the Outside the Box podcast YouTube channel for your entertainment and enjoyment. So definitely go run the numbies up on those and check them out from our live show in Philly. And of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. That is where you get full video episodes of this show every single week, full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. We're at 808 subscribers as of this recording. Let's get to 900. Let's get to 1,000. And then we keep pushing for that silver play button plaque at 100K. And subscribe to the Outside the Box podcast YouTube channel. Let's get to like 50 subs before All-Star on the OTB YouTube channel. We're at 22 right now. Let's run those numbies up because we're going to put some original content on there as well. That is just separate from the actual podcast itself. But go subscribe to the OTB YouTube channel. That's where OTB Live is now available to watch as well. So go subscribe, youtube.com/@OTB LaxPod. And guys, of course, this show is presented by our good pals over at Shootout For Soldiers, who just recently, as of today or yesterday, posted their updated partnerships with the PLL and PLL CIS, where you can now officially submit to have a veteran that you may know or an active member of the military be honored at a PLL weekend, which I think is really cool and a really fun way for Shootout For Soldiers to connect with the community in those markets that the PLL is going to. So you can nominate a veteran to be recognized by clicking the link in their description on all their socials. It's through PLL CIS. I think that is an awesome initiative, and Shootout For Soldiers is a proud partner of the Outside the Box podcast. I am working on some videos as well that will be coming out over the next few weeks, spotlighting some veterans and active service members that have been recognized so far this year at PLL weekend. So definitely stay tuned for that on our socials. But guys, Shootout For Soldiers, it's lacrosse uniting for veteran support, and their mission is to use lacrosse as a platform to support American veterans and foster community engagement. With over a decade now at this point of dedicated collaboration from local communities, lacrosse players, and the U.S. military, Shootout For Soldiers has emerged as a highly regarded industry partner, offering an unmissable and eagerly anticipated event. I saw our boy Maddie Ness is going to be at Shootout For Soldiers Long Island with Team Barstool, which is going to be a wild time. And if you're able to go to their Long Island event on July 12th, I highly recommend doing so. Shootout For Soldiers, empowering communities, raising millions together, established in 2012 as a high school project. Shootout For Soldiers has experienced remarkable growth in both reach and impact, raising over $5 million to champion veteran service organizations with unwavering dedication to their mission, having over 7,500 attendees at their events and over 2,500 registered players. Click the link in the description. Go and register for a Shootout for Soldiers event on their upcoming schedule this year, whether it's in Canandaigua, Long Island, Virginia. There's a whole bunch still on their schedule for the year. So definitely go check out Shootout for Soldiers by clicking the link in the description, and check out their kits as well, that if you can't make it, you can order a kit and put on an event in your home market yourself. And shout out to Shootout for Soldiers for being a proud partner of the Outside the Box podcast. Deej, the bye week has come and gone. Feels like it's been forever since Philly weekend, but it was a nice little refresh that I feel like I don't think we've ever had a league-wide bye in the PLL. So it's kind of a nice little, like, we're at this point of the season marker. What's going on, brother?
Wait, there we are. I'm living, man. It's been a go. This week at work was different. We had a clear the decks week here, so we had no internal meetings here in the office. Kind of giving us back a little bit more of our time, and it's been nice to kind of just get in and get my work done, and then sit back and set things up for the next day, or just go home. But we're trying to get back in the swing of things as far as the lacrosse field. Tough weekend this past weekend. Didn't come home with a championship, so that one always hurts. But we're right back at it. 2 really good practices on Tuesday, and by the time you're listening to or Monday and Tuesday, by the time you're listening to this, we've had a third practice in Thursday after we record, which I suppose will be pretty good. It's a little bit cooler here today than it has been. So I think that'll help as well. We're going into a pretty big tournament this weekend in Illinois. I am not 100% on this, but I believe the one of the teams I will be playing this weekend, 210 Lacrosse from Texas, is coached by Mark McNeil. And he may not be coaching my age division. So that may also be a piece, but that's going to be an interesting thing, especially if I happen to run into him on the sidelines.
That will be a ton of fun. Over here, it's been all systems go, just doing everything we can to keep pushing forward. Shout out to CFO Margie and the OG, celebrated their 41st wedding anniversary this week. Went on a little anniversary retreat, so I was holding down the fort here, and I gotta say, man, CFO Margie has it down to a science. She in her retirement era has picked up the old gardening green thumb, and she left a whole detailed list for me of how long each section of plants and produce and everything had to be watered for. And I gotta say, we as a society need to figure out a way to better the efficiency of the garden hose, because there's no reason that we should have garden hoses that constantly are getting kinks in them, and you can have the non-kink garden hose and it will still not work. We need to figure out a way to engineer and manufacture a more efficient garden hose.
Well, you get the crank on the side of your house.
Oh, we have it.
Then y'all just not using it right.
The hose is terrible.
Y'all just aren't using it right. Either that or y'all got a really bad hose. So,
man,
because my grandparents had their hose for forever, and it
horrendous.
Never really got kinks because they always just used the crank thing. So
sucks.
Do better, I guess.
Skill issue. Who knows? But yeah, we had the bye week. The PLL pipeline, shout out to Chase, was featured on a Redwoods post about third-round picks and Garrett Degnon just being a dog. Mikey Schlosser is back for the Waterdogs. Alex Mazzone is a whip snake.
Pro blue, baby. Pro blue. Talk to me nice.
We're gonna have to blur that on YouTube so we don't get demonetized.
Hilarious.
Since we last recorded, I'm pretty sure Kendrick had his pop-up show, which was just absolute scenes. And we have a brand new follower on the tweet machine that genuinely had me pinching myself, because this guy is responsible for some of my greatest joys and formation of me as a TV fan and just as a, Philadelphia adjacent human being in South Jersey. Deej, our newest follower on OTB on Twitter is none other than the creator, director, and lead writer for Boy Meets World, Mark Blutman.
That's sick.
I literally had to pinch myself last night when I saw that he followed us.
Yeah, I've never watched Boy Meets World. Sorry, so now I have a reason to.
I haven't.
I've only heard really great things about it.
I gotta find the.
I'm also literally neck deep in Chicago Fire, so I'm one of those people who can't watch another TV show until I'm done watching the one I'm watching.
Chicago Fire is never going to end.
Dog. I need to just catch up. You know what I'm saying? The problem is they got 12 seasons and I'm only on season 8. But I made good progress. You saw how quick I made it through all of Marvel, so I can.
Yeah, but you still got a lot to get back in on.
Hey, I ain't that far behind in Marvel. I've been keeping up, kind of.
So last night was round 1 of the NBA draft as we record this on Thursday, and Mark Blutman tweeted, "Hot take: PLL just passed Adam Silver's association with 4 lacrosse emojis." And I was like, "Is this real life? Mark Blutman is tweeting about the PLL? This is my worlds colliding." So I quote tweeted it from the pod account and said, "Mark Blutman, lacrosse guy," and that's what endeared him to follow us. So it is my mission to get Mark Blutman on this show, which also Mark's son Liam and Liam's younger brother is an intern there, but Liam works at Barstool and is responsible for a Twitter account that I think you are very familiar with, Deej, being your sports fandom and knowing how you operate on social media. But Liam Blutman is in charge and runs, and I'm pretty sure created, the No Context College Football Twitter account.
Oh.
So yeah, it is my mission to get Mark Blutman on this show, not only to talk about how he became a fan of the PLL, but also to let him know that he is responsible for so much of my joy, not only as a child, but as an adult as well, because as soon as the Pandy Wandy hit, you know what I did? I binged Boy Meets World into Girl Meets World, which was the Disney Channel spinoff that they did. And it was one of the better reuses of an IP, because Mark also wrote on that show. And you know what that show's responsible for, Deej? It's putting everybody's favorite pop star now on the map. Sabrina Carpenter's in that show.
Oh, yeah. You're right. See, this is what I mean. I'm just...
It all intertwines.
Everything does.
But shout out to Mark Blutman. I hope he starts listening to the podcast, because that would be fucking awesome.
Why else would he follow us? I think
he's already a big PLL guy.
I think he was already listening to us.
Hey, who knows? But if he wasn't now, hopefully this is episode 1 that he's listening to.
You got to have more faith in us, bro. I highly doubt that.
Well, he just started following us last night, and we haven't put out a new episode per se outside of the live show.
Bro, how you think he found us? We just randomly popped up?
Yeah, I quote tweeted his tweet.
Oh.
I quote tweeted his tweet about the PLL surpassing the NBA, saying Mark Blutman, lacrosse guy, and then he followed us. That's why I'm welcoming Mark Blutman into OTB Nation.
You got to let me know these things.
I did.
Oh, is that what you just said?
That was my whole diatribe just there.
I told you pre-pod what's going on, so it's all good.
I didn't think it was going to be that bad.
Hey, it's almost as bad as when I used to fall asleep.
Or the clips when you'd be like cracking your neck and my mom thought you were having a seizure.
Yeah, literally. And I'm just like, no, but just like it is now. It's about to like make me do dead fish out the window.
But yes, welcome to OTB Nation, Mark Blutman. You are one of my childhood and adult heroes, and I thank you for creating one of the greatest shows to ever grace the television airwaves. And it's cool because it's based in Philadelphia, so that's what made it super relatable for me. But we also had some moves in the PLL, like I mentioned. Most notably, our guy Mikey Schlosser back from injured reserve, which is huge for the Waterdogs. Chris Sabia goes on injured reserve, so he's going to be out at least this week. It's retroactive to June 3rd when he initially got injured, so he's going to be out through this week, I would assume. Alex Mazzone was claimed by the Whip Snakes and signed to them. They released Brett Kennedy. Logan Wisnauskas was put on the PUP list for the Outlaws, and Eli Salama was activated from the PUP list. So welcome back, Eli Salama. Elijah Gash was released to the player pool by the Whip Snakes, and they activated Adam Poitras from the holdout list. And Deej, it finally happened. It finally happened. Everyone can shut the fuck up now. Alec Stathakis, you are a water dog.
We've been saying this since day one, that as soon as this man finished school, he was going to be in a Waterdogs jersey. We talked a little bit about it after week 1. We talked a little bit about it after week 2. After week 3 and during week 3, specifically during week 3, I told everybody, this is the last time you will see the Waterdogs play without a faceoff guy. And then after week 3, I said, don't worry. At some point during this bye week, Alex Stathakis will be signed by the Waterdogs, and you will have a faceoff guy. I believe both of those statements are now true. And maybe, just maybe, I know a little something about ball. Just a little something. Y'all can all relax now. The Waterdogs are arguably the best team in the PLL now. We'll just have to see how quickly he's able to warm up to the cadence and such of the PLL.
And on top of that, if you missed it, Wyatt Miller, the Waterdogs beat writer, came on Underground Sports Philadelphia with me for literally a Wyatt Miller power hour. So shout out to Wyatt. Definitely go check that out. We'll link the episode in the description for everybody. On top of that, you're getting Alec Stathakis in the mix. But I think the bigger addition to this Waterdogs roster, getting activated from the PUP list, ironic that it's the PUP list and he's a Waterdog, is Jack Hanna. Bringing Jack Hanna back onto this team is going to open up so much. And we talked about this a little bit when it was like rumored that Jack was on his way back last week, I'm pretty sure. But to have Jack Hanna's just offensive creativity and his ability to hit the 2 and work out in the midfield is just such an efficient physical presence is only going to make this Waterdogs offense less reliable on putting everything on the backs of Kieran McCardle and Michael Sowers, and it just gives you another just lethal offensive weapon. And I'm excited for Jack Hanna to make his season debut this weekend.
I think this is much bigger than that. With the face-off signing, Zach Currier gets to go back on the wing.
Mm-hmm.
He gets to play both sides. You have Jack.
We saw what he did against the Whip Snakes.
You have Jack Hanna coming back. And soon Mikey's going to be coming back. Those are 3.
He's back this week.
Well, did they put him? Are they going to put?
He's on the 25.
On 25. So if he makes the 19, then we're talking about 3 prolific Dodgers scorers and also feeders coming back to your offense. Instantly, your offense.
For the first time together in 2 years.
It doesn't even matter.
Well, I'm just saying from a standpoint, like, if Mikey's on the roster, like, Mikey hasn't played since 2022.
Yeah. But, I mean, you take any one of these guys out, the fact that you're adding 2 of these guys in and you have a face-off guy, this team can now breathe. And I think, honestly, even after the first 3 weeks with pressers and such and talking to not only Coach Tierney, but, the players that were available to us from the Waterdogs, they all were kind of more reading between the lines. I've been doing a lot of that this year. They knew how tough the first 3 weeks were going to be because of the situation they put themselves in. And they were like, we need to just get through it. It wasn't like they weren't trying to dive deep into it. It was what it was. We got no face-off guy right now. We have to try and win in every way, but relying on having the ball off the face-off. So how can we do that? They did that. They chalked it up to it is what it is, and they moved on. And I think that really is what's going to propel them moving forward, is the fact that they get all these guys back and they're all still stable in the locker room because this is what they expected to happen.
Yeah. I'm excited for Jack to be back. Stoked that Mikey's back and hopefully healthy, because I know he was, in training camp and everything. And then to see a guy who hasn't played since 2022 go back on the injured reserve list is not something you ever want to see for a guy. And you just want him to be completely healthy just for his own just personal life and everything. So happy he's back. Hopefully Chris Sabia will be good to go in Boston for the Waterdogs. But, we talked about it a bunch last week. After recapping everything, the fact that you have somebody like Marcus Hudgens who can step right in for Chris Sabia and play as well as he did, that's a huge benefit for your defense. So we'll see how he does in his third game in a Waterdogs uniform this weekend. But I think we're due for some very fun games this week in Minnesota, Deej. And our Minnesota preview is brought to you by a new partner.
I just wish we had rosters already.
It'll get there.
You can go on.
But our Minnesota preview is brought to you by a new partner that I don't think I've even told Deej about. Guess what, Deej? Our preview is powered by Duracell Portable Power Stations.
Bro, I really hate that you do this, bro.
I had to get your instant reaction.
As vice CEO of this company, this is not cool. This is getting so out of hand. I found out I'm constantly the last person to find out.
I knew you were going to be excited about this, and that's why I wanted to get your genuine reaction to it.
This is insane, y'all. Not only is the deal insane, but the fact that I'm like constantly the last person to find out about something around here. The amount of times Pitts has told me something is crazy. I'm like, how do you know that?
He's probably feeding you false information 76% of the time.
And the other 34 or 24?
You got to remember it's Pat Pitts, so that is also fabricated in his brain because he also posted on Instagram that he was live streaming on Twitch and spelled Roy Halladay's name wrong, which I took offense to when it was right on the screen for him to spell it correctly. But
welcome to never mind. Roy Halladay knows. It gets you in trouble sometimes. People just don't know how to spell or say your name.
It drives me nuts. The Minnesota preview is powered by our new partner, Duracell Portable Power Stations. From the #1 trusted battery brand, Duracell Portable Power Stations and charging hubs allow you to power your laptops, mobile devices, lights, speakers, and any small electronics that make your life easier during a power outage or while you're away from a wall outlet. Guys, the way that DJ and I are always on the road and everybody in this company is always out and about creating content, doing things when we have live shows, this is going to be a game changer from start to finish. It is awesome. I can't tell you how stoked we are for this partnership. The products look incredible. Plus, you know you're getting something that is a good source for battery when it's coming from the number one trusted battery brand in Duracell. So from the charging hubs, they've also got larger scaled ones, like, you know, if there's a power outage and you need a mini generator, something like that, they've got you covered. Plus, there's one that is also going to be linked in the description that comes with a solar panel. That's how in deep Duracell is to making sure that your devices are charged up and ready to go when you're out and about and pulled away from a wall. So click the link in the description and check out the Duracell Portable Power Stations, including their 2024 Red Dot award-winning M150 and M250 models, and untether your device charging from the wall and power the possibilities with Duracell Portable Power Stations. Let's go, Deej.
Dude, I'm hyped. Like, dog, for a very long time, the only batteries I used were Duracell. But then I stopped really needing to buy like an actual battery. Because they came out with battery packs for Xboxes, so that made things very easy. But I'm a big fan of Duracell. I think that's going to be huge for us moving forward, and definitely needing to keep devices charged,
especially for live shows, bro.
Yeah, for live
shows. It's going to change the game for our live shows.
And in the car, because like
yes,
your car get hot already. So
well, let's not talk about that.
That's some natural solar.
I still don't have a car right now, so
no.
Yeah.
Sore subject, my bad.
Maybe I need Duracell to charge up my car, get things going for me again.
Facts.
But yeah, definitely click that link in the description and check out all the models that Duracell has to offer to untether your device charging from the wall, because you're always on the go. You need to keep things charged. Minnesota is here, Deej, and it is Indigenous Heritage Weekend. And my oh my, are the Indigenous Heritage jerseys for this weekend absolutely stunning. Just flawless execution, top to bottom, start to finish. Every single one of them are absolutely gorgeous.
Do I get one this weekend? I've been pondering.
I have my Michael Sowers Waterdogs one on the way.
Because after last year and the PLL giving me a big heart stab and not doing the annual what the one jerseys that we always got. What do they call those? Alternate? The jersey that they never wore on field that we got. We got two Woods ones in a row. One of them had the dark trees at the bottom with the
like the off-season type.
Yeah.
Jerseys. Yeah.
They didn't do that. They didn't do that last year. They did it the last 2 years, didn't do it last year. I'm kind of overdue for a jersey now. So I think a Woods jersey might be in the books.
Dude, and they are stunning. Like,
but I don't know if
Patrick Hunter is, it doesn't even do justice to call him an artist. He is an artistic genius with how beautiful these jerseys are. And when I saw them drop, I was like, yep, instant purchase.
See, I'm not going cap with you. I don't think I can get this Woods jersey.
Dog, the Woods one's fire.
It is, but it's the white. Like I don't think I want a white one.
I don't know, because like the Waterdogs one also looks white, but then when I went on the website, it's gray and almost silver, which I love even more.
The Waterdogs one is like gray, I believe, but like the other three are white.
I do like the yellow pinstripe.
I don't think it's bad. Like I like the design. I like all of it and how it looks. I just don't want a white jersey. That's all it's coming down to.
I do like the yellow pinstripe like detail on the Redwoods jersey.
You just doing that because it's all the way through. You are so
yes. That's how it should be.
You are
Stripe, go all the way through, or don't do it at all.
I actually feel like the Archers should just wear this jersey for the rest of the season.
I really like the Archers jersey a lot.
They should just wear this jersey for the rest of the season.
The Archers one is awesome. The Chaos one is gorgeous.
Hey, where there's fire, I like that for the Cannons.
The Cannons one is great.
Or where there's smoke, I think is what they said.
Yeah, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, I like that's
the
fire.
Outlaws.
I'm probably gonna end up getting the Outlaws one low key.
Like,
do I get a Brendan O'Neill one?
No, you should get Jake Pacino, honestly.
Okay, yeah, you got me.
Like,
that was
the
awesome.
Jake Pacino Indigenous Heritage jersey, like, is almost a must cop.
I really dropped the bag on that.
The Whip Snakes one, that honestly, the Whip Snakes,
you got options there.
That one might be their. Is that a top 2 Whip Snakes jersey of all time?
What
along
else?
with the teal snakeskin?
Okay, I was gonna say what are you putting up there with it?
Like, I genuinely love that jersey for the Whips.
I mean, I like the yellow numbers is the real hit here. And you know what? I like this because they found a way. I told you it can be done. You can find a way to use all those colors without using the actual flag. It looks good when you do that.
It looks beautiful.
It looks amazing. And I hate to say that as not only a Michigan fan, but a Redwoods fan. I hate saying that.
The Atlas jersey is awesome. Like, it's very hard to miss using that color palette, but like the logo itself is amazing. They knock these out of the park, and I mean the Waterdogs, that might be a top 2 Waterdogs jersey of all time as well.
Yeah, I mean Waterdogs is just their color scheme is fire. It's kind of hard to mess it up.
My business brain, I tweeted this. I quote tweeted our guy Neil Barrett. My business brain also was unlocked on these jerseys a little bit. I don't know if you saw my tweet. Redwoods have a new chess jersey sponsor patch with Cash App. Still have Progressive on the sleeve. And then the Utah Sports Commission is on the chest for the Archers, and they still have Progressive on the sleeve. Rebel Bourbon is missing from the Chaos jersey for this weekend.
All of these outside of the Waterdogs and the Whip Snakes don't have their things on the front or on the side.
Not the one I'm looking at.
From what I can see.
The only one missing from what I can see is Rebel Bourbon on Chaos.
Oh, it's on the shoulder for Archers.
Because the Archers have the Utah Sports Commission on the chest now, and then Progressive is on the sleeve. Waterdogs have Dude Wipes still, obviously.
Well, I'm just saying for these specific jerseys.
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
The PLL tweet.
I'm talking about the ones on the shop, dog.
This guy.
I can't get the.
This guy. I'm talking about the actual business model of the fucking league.
We were still. I thought we were talking about design, so I was.
We are.
I was still in the head motion that we.
I'm looking right here.
Dog.
Official tweet.
I understand. I understand what you're saying, bro. I'm in the headspace that we're still figuring out which one of these jerseys I'm going to buy tomorrow, and you just jumped ship.
I've been talking about the business brain. I said, I don't know if you saw my tweet, which I was assuming you didn't because you didn't respond.
No, I didn't.
I was saying the Redwoods still got Progressive, but they have Cash App now on the front of the jersey.
Yeah, I peeped that.
And then Utah Sports Commission is on the chest of the Archers, and they still have Progressive. So 2 teams have 2 jersey sponsors now. But Rebel Bourbon is missing from the Chaos jersey, even on the league post.
Who knows?
Charlotte's Web is on an Atlas, still on the sleeve, in the place that we hate the placement of it. But it is interesting that the Outlaws and Cannons don't have jersey patch sponsors.
Who doesn't?
Cannons and Outlaws, the original MLL teams.
That doesn't surprise me. I think I don't know if they've quite branched those brands out yet. If that makes sense. Like, I don't know how much they've sold those particular brands.
Cannons, I feel like, would be easier.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Just because they've been in the PLL iteration for, 3 years now?
I say they may just be trying to do that on purpose.
But man, they knocked these shirts out. Like, these are some of the best in terms of collection wise and just individual wise, some of the best jerseys in PLL history, in my opinion.
Do I dare say the best? I think, like, overall collection, this is the best we've gotten. But I think there's some individual ones that compete against these for the respective teams.
Because I was going to say the only other ones that I would say, like, as a collection is the throwback jerseys.
Maybe. Because really, I think that for me, nah. Because I don't. Maybe last year's those.
That's what I was saying. Last year's
kind of hit, but like
I can't remember 2022's.
Those were the ones that looked like.
Like, I remember the hats and everything because I'm obviously wearing one.
Yeah, the hats were dope. No, but they were kind of like. People felt like they were like press on made almost. If that makes it like people felt like they were kind of low budget. I don't know how to explain like exactly the look. Like, I don't know how to put the look into words.
Oh, I kind of remember them now.
Yeah.
I'm looking at them right now. Last year's were definitely as a collection better than.
Well, no, I was thinking of that set that had the pink chrome in it.
Oh no, that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about like the actual like throwback ones. That was like the black Waterdogs.
I know what you're talking about. I'm saying that was the one that I maybe put up there as well. Is that whole set that had the pink chrome in it? I thought that set was done really well because I think that was the first time we saw.
Well, that was last year's.
No, not throwback. Not throwback. That set that had the idea.
That was like the off-season one.
Yeah, that off-season one because that also had the black with the red, neon red chaos.
Mm-hmm.
That set. I think that one was.
Yeah, I was just saying in terms of
other full set I throw up.
Other ones were like the throwback ones.
Yeah,
both years were impeccable. But like these,
like
last year's, I'm wearing the Redwoods last year Indigenous Heritage jersey, and these were awesome because it was different, had the Thunderbird on it and everything, but every team was the same, just in their color scheme. So I think differentiating the logos for each team is just such a step above, and kind of, I forget who said it, but it's like the expectation that you have for the PLL in terms of merchandising now. And they knocked it out of the park, and I can't wait to see them on the players because I know they're going to look absolutely incredible, especially since all these games are night games as well. They're going to pop under the lights, and Minnesota always shows out, and I think it's going to be an awesome weekend in Minnesota.
I mean, Minnesota always shows out, and I think it's because they're always night games. I think that really changes their perception. You know, like, I don't know how to explain it, but like everybody gets a little bit hyper for night games than they do for,
because it gives it that big game feel.
Yep.
Plus, I don't know if you saw too.
I'm coaching during the first game on Saturday.
I don't know if you saw this on Friday's games, both games. The man, the myth, the legend, Jeremy Thompson, back in the broadcast booth.
Yeah, I did. I just saw a tweet about that not too long ago. That's going to be
so excited. He's so good in the booth.
I'm going to miss the entire Redwoods game, bro. Oh my God.
On ESPN2?
Bro, hey, I'm just going to have my phone playing it on the sideline. I'm literally just going to like set it down on the ground and just like occasionally peek at it. Cause like, no, bro, that cannot happen to me. That's insane, bro. That's why I got this knot in my neck. I didn't even know why. Now all the stress has been. I now understand why it's here. This is crazy.
But we've got an electric slate of games. First non-homecoming weekend of the year. So each team in action this weekend in Minnesota. Every team only playing one game. And we've got some great matchups. Some interconference matchups and some big-time games for some teams that are desperate for wins. But we've got things kicking off on Friday night at 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus. The New York Atlas and the Maryland Whipsnakes running it back. Is this the first repeat game of the year?
I believe
so.
I believe so.
So the 4-0 Atlas against the 1-2 Whipsnakes, and then 9:30 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN Plus as well. The Boston Cannons and the Utah Archers. And then on Saturday at 6 p.m. on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus, the California Redwoods and the Denver Outlaws. Redwoods still looking for their first win of the year. And then the nightcap on Saturday, the Philadelphia Waterdogs and Carolina Chaos, also on ESPN Plus. Waterdogs also looking for their first win of the season. I mean, these matchups are chef's kiss.gif for each team only playing one game. What a perfect slate of games, in my opinion.
This weekend's going to be great. I mean, you got highlight offenses with Boston and Utah and defenses that are figuring themselves out. Question
Return of Graham Hossack, too.
I mean, right. You have the return of Graham Hossack, but now he has to get reintegrated with this defense and who's actually out there as far as Mason Woodward instead of Matt McMahon, Warren Jeffrey, but that's normal for him. The rotation of players and just getting back out on the field. It's a little bit different than playing in box. And those guys are young and they're still figuring themselves out, which is where all their struggles have been so far this season. And then on the other side, you could say the same thing. Them losing Jack Kilty, they have a lot of new guys in the building. They're all just trying to figure each other out right now on the defensive side of things. They both have amazing goalies who are helping them out in that standpoint and keeping them in games and helping them win. But it's really just two very high-powered offenses with, do I dare say, good face-off guys?
I think that's going to be the interesting thing is watching how Tucci follows up his, unreal performance, his Hollywood story performance, and how Sis bounces back after a very underwhelming game against Chaos. Even though the Archers won that game, it was not the status quo we've come to expect from Mike Sisselberger.
Yeah, he's been on the downside a little bit, in my opinion.
Last 2 weeks have not been great for him.
I mean, opening week wasn't even like
that was his best game of the year.
That was his best game, but it wasn't, it wasn't even really a Sis game. So still kind of waiting for him to break through and, provide that game that we're looking for, that game where he dominates at the stripe. He's winning it forward and getting assists or at least putting up offensive pressure and really just giving the Archers that chance to pull away from a team. I think that's what they've missed from being able to pull away and actually win a game is they're not getting the ball after scoring and because they're one of those quick twitch offenses that actually can score in the 32. Mm-hmm. And when they are scoring in that first 32, it's really, getting down on teams and it's hard for them to bounce back when they score and then all of a sudden it's 4-1 and you're like, where'd the other three come from? It was off Sis winning it forward on 32-second shot clocks. And I mean, I don't have to say too much about Redwoods Denver. It's just I don't know where to go with this.
Can I give you an interesting tidbit about this game that I saw? I forget who tweeted it, so I apologize. But this is the first time since 2022 that sportsbooks are not giving Chrome/Outlaws points. They are 1.5 point favorites in this matchup.
I want to say I'm surprised, but I'm not. The bigger problem for me is I am deep down a Redwoods fan forever. But I'm definitely on this BO train. That boy cooking.
Here's my thing. I agree with you, and we have obviously been a very pro Brennan O'Neill podcast since the beginning, and we battled through the demons of everyone saying that he shouldn't have been the number 1 overall pick. Take that L.
Please.
My only concern, and it's not like a huge thing, but I'm just interested to watch it unfold. And we talked about it last week, is it sucks that after that Hollywood type story for Brennan O'Neill to put the team on his back and win that game against the Archers in Carolina, Outlaws have been on a 2-week break now. Seeing how they've handled that is going to be a fun thing to watch. And, no Logan Wisnauskas this week. How does the offense switch up with him out of the lineup, and seeing just the way that they move the chess pieces around the board without one of the guys who have been on the team for a couple years now, who have been a massive part of their offense. Now it's the BO show. He gets to play attack again, but now coming off a 2-week break, let's see the adjustments they've made. And we've all kind of said it, the offense has had its struggles, but the defense also has not been there 100% of the time this year. And I know Topher put out, the Outlaws beat writer, put out a great thread about just, what the struggles have been for this Outlaws defense to start the year. So definitely go check that out. But I'm intrigued to see a 2-week break during the season, how that affects the Outlaws one way or the other.
Honestly, I think for them, it's a really good spot. I think they honestly got the best opportunity for them. Like, timing wise, I think it was better for them to have this bye week now than maybe after their home, which is like when I feel like a lot of people wanted is after or right before, one of the two. I think this is great for them because they're so young and they're trying to figure everything out. They have an opportunity to just get with each other a bunch. As far, granted, it's Zoom. Maybe a couple of these guys are near each other, so they're getting out on the field with each other. But building that chemistry as a team through Zoom meetings, but also taking time to rest and truly rest. Like, some of these guys are coming off of college season pretty much right away. This is the first real rest they've gotten to do. I think it's going to be a chance for them to clear their heads, relax, be rested, and come back full strength, which is why that game's going to be blockbuster. You have the Redwoods, who are not used to not winning a game within the first couple of weeks, being 0-2 after not playing in week 1. They're going to be coming hard, full strength. You know it. And the opposite side is the Denver Outlaws, fully rested with young guys who feel like they have a bunch to prove. It's a recipe for a firework full of a game full of fireworks.
The interesting part is, too, because not only is Logan out, but Jack Myers is also out this game. I've seen a lot of people, and I think this is going to be the route they go. And I think Topher also tweeted about this, because you'll obviously have Brennan O'Neill and Josh Sawada on attack. Who from the midfield do you bump up? I think it's going to be Graham Bundy Jr. from all the things I've been seeing, which will also be fun to watch, especially the way he played in Carolina and scored his first goals around the world, which I think gives a little bit of pressure off the shoulders of Sam Hanley to kind of just go and do his thing, where he's not, moving out of position, and you let him and Cross Ferrara kind of cook in the midfield a little bit and allow Cross to kind of be that speed dodger almost out of the midfield. And then you let Graham Bundy Jr. just cook with these young boys, and you have 3 rookies on offense just going out there and putting on a show.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so excited for how they're going to be as young guys. Like, this is a team full of potential because they're all so young. They have so much to prove. And now you kind of get to just go, hey, you have no expectations. Nobody's really looking for you to do anything other than the people in this locker room. So let's just go make each other proud and play good ball. You're just letting the dogs out, like, all pun intended there, in terms of one of my favorite songs from childhood. Like, you literally let them out and just let them do their thing, and you definitely got some dogs over there, as we saw a couple weeks ago. So I think the more free they're allowed to play, I think the better, because even though they're getting some rest now, I think you do still need to take advantage of how many of your guys are coming off of college ball and how they're literally in the best shape of their life right now. Take advantage of that and let those guys play. Like you got Graham, BO, Josh, and Jake all coming right out of school, ready to go in some of the best shape of their life. Use those guys as much as you can.
Very interesting that Justin Anderson's now on the official Outlaws roster, listed as a short stick D midi.
Nice.
So that gives them 5 there with Will Haas, Mike Messenger, Alex Smith, and Terry. And we'll see Owen McElroy again this weekend because Sean Scanoni, I believe, is still listed as out on the most recent injury report. So it'll be another go round for Owen McElroy in net for the Outlaws. So definitely something to pay attention to there. And then Waterdogs Chaos, I think, is going to be an awesome game. 2 high-powered offenses, 2 great goalies, and obviously the pro debut, we would assume, of Alec Stathakis against Nick Rowlett. And I think that's a matchup to not sleep on because Nick Rowlett's been cooking this year.
Oh.
And I'm intrigued to just see how that matchup goes down. And I do want to see here, Deej, because before we keep it pushing, wrapping up the preview and getting into our picks, do want to talk to everybody about our PLL app code where you can play weekly fantasy against the boys in the PLL app. It is truly the best app experience for any pro sports league out there, any pro sports team out there. Weekly fantasy, trivia, all the news and notes you need for the entire league, all in the palm of your hand in the PLL app. Some great articles that have come out over the past couple of weeks, especially this week with Indigenous Heritage Weekend. Topher put out a great article about Jake Piscino. Hayden put out an awesome article about our guy KJ. So definitely go check those out. The GOAT games are back in the app as well. You can watch some throwback games from MLL and PLL era. They just put 2 PLL era games out, which are awesome. Up to the minute stats. It is truly the best. Download the PLL app, join our weekly fantasy group, which I'm pretty stoked about my fantasy team this week, not going to lie. Play against myself, Deej, Chase, Hoots, the whole 9 yards, our weekly fantasy group. Keep joining. And of course, you want to get experience points on your app because when you get to the levels like Deej and I, you unlock nice little discount code in the PLL shop. That's how I ordered my Indigenous Heritage Waterdogs jersey. Use my monthly discount in the app. Download the PLL app in the App Store, Google Play Store, or go to pll.app and then go to the redeem code section and type in OTB pod for 500 XP on your account in the PLL app. That's code OTBPOD in the PLL app for 500 XP on your account. Deej, you want to hear my fantasy lineup this week?
Run it.
So I've got my attack group, both costing 37 coins on your salary cap. Connor Fields against the Cannons. Kieran McCardle against Carolina. Then I got Grant Ament, who only costs 31 coins. That's a steal for Grant, especially when he's healthy. And then I'm running it back with Dox Aiken, who we'll see if he can score the first goal again for the 4th time in 5 weeks. Then I'm rocking with Ben Randall, Dylan Ward, and Nick Rowlett.
Well, I'm going to sprinkle a little Michigan magic onto my squad this week, hoping it works out for me. Going with 2 former blue guys, pro blue, Josh Zawada with 24 coins and Nick Rowlett at 25. And of course, I got to go big here to save my ass. So I dropped the 50 ball on Teeter, and I dropped the 40 ball on Schreiber. And then I think I made some sneaky picks here with 14 coins with Minnow and 12 coins with Zach Geddes.
Minnow is somebody that, Chaos are looking to get cooking a little bit, is kind of underwhelmed, air quotes for everybody just listening, to start the year. So could be a spot where, if he gets to Dylan Ward in those early moments, could be an opportunity there for sure.
I mean, I think with this week, they're just going to look to use him as a speed dodger to try and get the Philly defense moving so he can get some assists. Assists are worth as many points as goals, so I don't care if he puts it in the back of the net or helps somebody do it. I just don't want him to turn the ball over.
I am crying laughing at who the leader
I put Troutner in net. Sorry.
The leader in the clubhouse in our fantasy group is right now Michael Sauer's feet.
That's nasty. That's just nasty.
Who's just absolutely dominating the field with 706.6 fantasy points this year so far.
Yeah, I've been getting dubbed. Can't even cap.
Yeah. It's a long way down from where I'm at in the standings compared to you.
Oh, yeah, I know. It ain't even been close for me. I've been getting waxed.
Am I? No. Hoots is leading the way for all of the pod. He's in 6th place in our group. I'm in 9th. Chase is 14th. And then you are 17. But you're not last.
Hey. And honestly, you know how things go for me.
You're ahead of friend of the program, Carly Fleischer.
You know how things go for me. I normally end up being really slow at the start of things and then find my groove, and it's pure heat from then on. So I'm just staying positive, trying to keep that course and look to find my groove so I can really get going.
We got some great people in the group too. Off ball Lax is in there. Pacino Stan 88, Brian in the top 4 right now. I do think Michael Harrison has the best team name for a team name associated with a PLL team. His team name is Scorpions Court.
Oh, that's fire.
That's absolute heat. And then Wyatt also has a great team name as well, Dogs of the Valley.
Oh, I like that.
That's great, especially him being a California guy. So that's very fun. Oh, I also asked Wyatt this on the main pod when he came on. I was like, do you find it funny that you're from California and you cover the Philadelphia Waterdogs, and Jerome is from Philly and covers the California Redwoods?
I mean, it kind of just fits the bill. Literally.
It's funny how that all played out.
I like it. I think it works.
What
happens when you have a tour-based league. People end up all over the place.
But it is funny how most of the other beat writers are in their markets, like Lauren's in New York, Sarah's in Boston. But it is funny that those two are just on the opposite coast covering the opposite coast teams. But it works out. They do a great job either way. But I think without any further ado, Deej, we're going to head to the pick pond, feed some ducks, and dish out our PLL Minnesota picks of the week, brought to you by our friends over at Kenwood Beer, the official beer partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's a refreshing light beer, just 4.1% ABV, only 120 calories and just 8 grams of carbs. Available in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, and Delaware. Go to kenwoodbeer.com. Use the Kenny tracker. See who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in those markets. You can also get it at your local liquor stores in those areas. Check out the Kenny storefront. Get your Kenwood Beer pint glasses. They've got awesome apparel as well. It's kenwoodbeer.com. Must be 21 or older to do so. And of course, please drink responsibly. And if you are gambling and following our picks, which I hope you're not, please do so responsibly as well. Just 4 games this weekend, Deej. 1 for each team. And we kick things off with a rematch from earlier this year. It's the New York Atlas and the Maryland Whip Snakes. Do we have the Bulls staying hot, or do the Whips kind of find their way and go on a little run?
I think it's really hard to beat a team twice, let alone, in a couple of weeks of seeing that team. But the Whip Snakes are still struggling. They barely got their first win. And the bigger thing here is Atlas is on an absolute train, and I don't see anybody stopping them anytime soon. They have, after last week, or I guess 2 weeks ago, they entered that until you lose, I have to say you win.
Yeah, I'm with you. I do think it's going to be a lot of fun because we've kind of seen him get into a groove now and looks like he's fully back, of seeing a fully healthy Joe Nardella versus fully healthy Trevor Baptiste.
That's going to be a lot of fun, and it may be the decider in this game.
So we'll see how that shakes out. But I am with you. I'm taking the Atlas to get the dub because until they lose, can't say that they're going to lose. Then we go to the nightcap on Friday. It's the Boston Cannons, the Utah Archers. I like what the Archers are doing. I know, they had that game against the Outlaws that they should have won, but Brennan O'Neill put the team on his back and said, not this time. I like the Archers offense, and you're adding Graham Hossack back into the fold, who is arguably best defenseman in the league. You don't get nicknamed the Cyborg for no reason, and putting him back in the fold, I think, just makes this team that much deeper defensively. And to put him in front of his guy, who he talked about, this defense used to be a lot more Canadian. I think Brett Dobson's going to be a lot more comfortable with Graham Hossack in front of him. So give me the Archers to get the dub.
Yeah, this one comes down to the same side of the ball for me, the defense, and happens to be the Archers defense. I think they have a little bit more of a grasp of each other and how they want to play than the Cannons. No disrespect to them, but I think them losing Jack Kilty was a spiral that started, and they're just now really starting to repair that. So it's still going to take another week or two. So I have to give the edge to the Archers in being able to get a stop. But it may be closer than people think, because I think Tucci's going to outlast Sis at the stripe.
It will be very fun to watch, and we'll see if Tony Resch has a firm grasp back on his job after interim defensive coordinator Matt McMahon stepped into the fold for him. Then we move to the game of the week in terms of TV broadcast. ESPN2, 6 p.m. on Saturday. It's the California Redwoods, the Denver Outlaws. And guess what, Deej? I think they find a way. Redwoods are getting their first win of the year.
I mean, you can't think I'm going to go against my crew on a week like this. This is the perfect opportunity for them to slide in, really take advantage of having 2 weeks off already, and playing another within this week or this year, and going against a young team. I think they're able to use their veteranism in different ways, and I think the key here is they got to get Romar going. This is a game where Romar can take advantage of defense, where Vecino is still finding his way in the PLL, and then their D mids, they're okay, but they're not great, So it's a chance for Romar to really put an imprint on the game, and some of these other middies, Cole Kurse, Charlie Bertrand, the middies can really get going, and you can let the attack kind of just supplement what the midfield is going to provide.
Hey, I'll say as a group, I understand what you're saying, but I'm not going to let that Brian Terafenko slander come through to.
I mean, I'm cool with Scary Terry. I'm just saying, like, overall, if I'm looking across the league on what short sticks I want to dodge, I'm probably taking my shot at this whole match.
Justin Anderson.
This whole matchup. You know what I'm saying? Because not that the Woods, they're good, but they're not great compared to what we're seeing across the other 6 teams in the league. I would dodge on one of these 2 sets of short stick D mids before anybody else.
Then we move to the nightcap, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN Plus. Oh, also I want to say, if there was ever a week, if there was a prop available responsibly, I would say Jake Piscino is going to score his first PLL goal.
Dang, bro,
shout out Brian.
We got some wild takes this week.
I'm just saying. Waterdogs, Chaos. It's always an electric matchup between these 2 teams. Rematch of the 2022 championship game. And Dogs are looking for a win. Jack Hanna's back. This is a must win for the Waterdogs. You can't go 0-4 and feel like, oh, we're gonna figure it out. You got to get a win here, and I think this is the week for them to do it. So give me the Dogs to get their first win of the year as well.
I am gonna do it because we can't do this again. Not just because of that. I think this one comes down to special teams. The face-off stripe in between the pipes. And they both have special players at both those positions now. But when we look between the pipes first, Blazer over Wardo, it's a hard choice normally. When you look at this season, Wardo isn't at par with himself, let alone with what we've seen from Blaze Reardon. And then at the stripe, Nick Rowlett's been great so far this season. And this is Stathakis' first PLL action. Don't know if I can trust him to come through in the clutch. Do I think he's going to have a good game? Probably. And I think he's going to win a handful of faceoffs. But can he win the ones at the end of a quarter? Can he win the ones after the Chaos have scored 2 or 3 in a row? Can he win one at the end of the game? Those are the big questions you're looking for, and I don't know if he can do that yet. I know Nick can. I'm going with Chaos.
I think for me, it's also going to be nice for consecutive games see Zach Currier cook. And I think the Waterdogs got a little bit of a blessing in terms of the injury report that they don't have to worry about Sergio Perkovic launching 2 bombs in their faces, because that has been a big struggle for the Waterdogs this year, is defending the 2. You don't have to worry about somebody who is lethal from 2 to start this year, luckily. Still got to worry about some other guys, but Perk had been on 1 to start the year from 2, and that's something that you can kind of take a nice deep breath about.
I don't think so, because the first person to score a 2-pointer for this Chaos offense this year was who? Or I guess the second. Sorry, the second.
Yeah, I was going to say Perk definitely scored the first one.
Yeah, the second.
Well, I don't know if Jack Rowlett's going to always have the green light to shoot a 2.
But the fact that he did, if Jack's scoring them, then anybody who does have the range, I'd be concerned about. And they like to shoot them anyway because they trust their defense and goalies so much. So, like, if you got the option and it seems like everybody on their team has the green light from anywhere. I haven't really seen them. I've never heard Andy Towers say someone can't shoot, and I've never really seen anybody yell at somebody for shooting.
I think if there's ever a threat that you got to worry about, though, it's CJ Niner.
Yeah. Facts. I think once he gets across half, he feels like he's in range. Some Connor Kelly, Minnesota, a couple years ago type.
That's who the Waterdogs really need to get cooking, is Connor Kelly, though. From just a shooting percentage type flow. Like, he needs to be more selective with his shots to be more on the mark than what they have been to start the year.
I think his shot selection's fine. I think he's just been facing the best goalies in the world, and they're not always going to go in. And when he's the only one really shooting from the midfield, in terms of what you guys have had offensively for the beginning of the season, it's going to be a lot easier to pick up on his shot and how he's shooting. That makes easier saves. If they're seeing 4 or 5 different shots from up top in the midfield, he's going to get some by. But he really was the only one, so you start to pick up on the cadence.
Well, it'll be nice to have Jack Hanna back, and I think he's going to cook because he always does, and he's a dog. But that there are
a couple of years ago in Minnesota. You know who they played?
Well, even last year when Jake Carraway burst onto the scene and had himself a game, and we predicted that. Let's not forget.
Yeah, but do you remember who they played 2 years ago?
I don't.
When it was raining like crazy, and Connor Kelly hit that 2-pointer from literally half. The Redwoods.
Well, that was on Long Island.
They lost that game. No, it was not.
Yes, it was.
No, it was not.
Because that's when
Minnesota. I swear.
That was on Long Island, because that's when I got cooked attempted to get cooked by homie on Twitter for, this is the question you ask, when I asked about Rob Pinnell.
No,
I was there.
No, bro, that wasn't me.
I was there.
I remember vividly because it was a night game. And it was
it was a night game on Long Island. I was there.
In Mini.
I was there.
You can tell me that, but I think you are mixing up dates, bro. No way.
I'm pulling it up right now. While I do that, those are our picks of the week. We both have Atlas, Archers, Redwoods. I've got the Waterdogs, DJs, Carolina, And those are our PLL Minnesota picks of the week, brought to you by Kenwood Beer. I'm pulling this up right now.
Please do.
Connor Kelly. Hey everyone, it's KB, and I am beyond excited to bring you this breaking news about a new project here at Underground Sports Philadelphia. Introducing Light the Flame, an Olympics podcast where all of your favorite Underground Sports Philadelphia personalities will come together to discuss, banter, and break down the Olympic Games. Coming soon wherever you get your podcasts and on our YouTube channel throughout the 2024 Olympics and beyond.
You can click back on, tell the people you're right, and we can move forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have won the battle. Put the war wages on.
Oh, it does. I'm pretty sure I got a couple up on you in this battle right now. So
I'll take the tally there. But those are our Minnesota picks of the week, and yeah, it's gonna be a great weekend of lacrosse. Deej, best of luck against Mark McNeil this weekend.
thank you, very much needed. We also play a team from Nebraska, and then
Compton,
a team from Illinois. So it's going to be an interesting weekend because I think we're going to see three completely different styles of lacrosse, and I think that's what's going to be fun for me is noticing the small quirks in their games between the three different teams and their play styles and adjusting the defense to combat that. It's finally going to be nice because so far, I mean, Midwest Prime, we're playing teams in the Midwest, so they're playing just like Michigan is. And then last weekend we hosted the tournament here right down the road. So it was Midwest teams here playing Midwest lacrosse. So I didn't have to adjust to anything. It was what we knew. Now we have a team from Nebraska and Texas coming up. One, I've never really seen high school ball in either of those states and what they truly look like. So we're all kind of going in blind. And then the third team is a team we've played multiple times, so we know what to expect there, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to adjust back so quickly. So it's going to be an interesting weekend, but I'm vibing. I'm here for it.
Yeah, you got a big golf tournament going on in Detroit this weekend, which our guys at Get in the Hole just tweeted a very hilarious picture of a 15-year-old playing this weekend. Miles Russell is 15.
Yeah.
The men's locker room at Detroit Country Club is for men 16 years of age or older.
But they're going to let him in, right?
Shit, I hope so. But yeah, it's going to be a great weekend. If you're in Minnesota, tweet us pictures of everything going on. We'd love to see your view. From Minnie, excited to see if Alexander Madison or any Minnesota Vikings players are in attendance like they have been over the years. And very intrigued to see if, because, you know, Minnesota was pushing hard for the Waterdogs in those videos, pushing hard for the Waterdogs to be their team. So we'll see if Waterdogs fandom is still running deep in Minnesota or if they've shifted gears one way or another. But enjoy the weekend of games. Be sure to check out OTB Live on the Outside the Box Podcast YouTube channel and on the podcast feed. It is available for your listening and viewing consumption. Run those numbies up. We want to boost it as much as possible, so definitely tune in. It was a lot of fun. Myself, Deej, and Chase from the Premier Zone in Philly, and CFO Margie on the camera there. And make sure you guys are following us at OTB LaxPod across the board: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads. Follow Deej on Twitter at SCS_NextGreat. Follow Chase on Twitter and Instagram at the PLL Pipeline. Follow Hoots at Hoot Sport Media, I believe, and Hoot Sport Photography to check out all of his photos. You can follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311. Subscribe to the podcast feed on Apple, Spotify. Leave a 5-star rating and review. Be a friend, tell a friend to subscribe. And of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. That's where you get full video episodes of this show every week, full video episodes of every show on the network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It's all on there. And be sure to subscribe to the OTB YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/@OTBLaxPod. Smash that like button, ring the bell icon, leave a comment down below, and get your merch from our awesome merch partners, PHI Apparel Company. It's been going on the ticker the whole time there. If you want to stand out in the crowd, you're going to a PLL weekend and you want to rep the pod, you can do so by going to phiapparel.co, stand out in the crowd, and use code underground at checkout to get 10% off your order. And if you wear an OTB shirt to a PLL weekend, tag us while you're wearing it. Let us know, because we will definitely repost that and share it everywhere and give you your props for repping OTB Nation out on the road. And everybody enjoy the weekend ahead of PLL action. And this has been episode number 329 of the award-nominated, honorably mentioned, number 9 NCAA ranked, and of course, proudly presented by Shootout For Soldiers, Outside the Box podcast, the official lacrosse pod on the Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast network. For Deej, I'm KB. We'll see you guys next week, recap in Minnesota, and probably do the home and home on our turf this time with the Boston Battery Boys next week, Deej, because it is Boston homecoming weekend next week. But until then, we're getting the heck up out of here. Signing off. Peace.
Peace.